brothers and sisters, and welcome to The Last Ego on Earth. My name is James Scott Shoemaker, and tonight we're going to continue on with the Workbook for Students. We are in A Course in Miracles Foundation for Inner Peace edition here. We are on page 21. This is Lesson 13, A Meaningless World Engenders Fear. Now this, our prior lesson here was I am upset because I see a meaningless world. When we're upset inside, of course, that starts being projected outside of ourselves, and the way the ego is going to try to get us the biggest is to make us become afraid or be in fear. Now we do need to remember, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there, is that our original problem that we have with fear is our original tiny mad idea that we can be separated from God. We are afraid that God is upset at us. So it's been projected out into the world into a billion, million, trillion, infinity pieces that we're slowly picking back up. Jesus has put the atonement in place so that we can get this going a little bit faster than normal, because there's a lot of people that are in fear. And of course, this lesson's telling us right here, a meaningless world engenders fear. So I'm just going to jump in, start reading, and I might stop in between if I'm guided to. I just want to let you know that I am walking right beside you on this journey. We're going to walk together. We're going to walk home together. I'm your buddy. I'm your friend. And we're going to get through this together. If I'm learning, you're learning, we're both learning, and we both get to keep it and go right on home. Okay, guys, here, I'm just going to go ahead and start. This is A Meaningless World Engenders Fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific as to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think you do perceive it. Recognition of a meaningless arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space the meaningless provides. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own idea there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own importance and reality. And on this alone it is correct. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess, and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times, or not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in somewhat different way from the preceding ones. With eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about. Then close your eyes and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement. Whatever form such a resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of vengeance of the enemy. You are not expected to believe this statement at this point, and will probably dismiss it as preposterous. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. This is our first attempt at stating an explicit cause and effect relationship of a kind which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. Do not dwell on the concluding statement and try not even to think of it except during the practice periods. That will suffice at present. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed Lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. I know that this lesson has, over the years, brought me a lot of peace, because I figure out when I am in fear that it's all up to me to recognize that, so that I can ask for Holy Spirit's guidance. Meaningless things in this world that are of pain, suffering, violence, separation, brings fear into your world. We are what we think. So it's very important to purge that by handing it over to Holy Spirit. I hope this lesson gives you as much peace as it has me, and I cannot wait to journey on into Lesson 14 on the next one. I hope you guys are well wherever you're at. Peace be with you. I love you, and I will see you guys on the other side. All right, guys, take care. See you on the next one.
Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. Prepare yourself for all it's worth. Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. Prepare yourself, the last ego on earth. Prepare yourself from the dirt to the birth. Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. The last ego on earth.